right. We live. All right. It's your girl, Morgan Renee Myers, tuning in with another story time with more of mine. I'm live on YouTube today and I'm live on Facebook. I left my other phone, so no Instagram. But look what I found at the library, y'all. Jennifer Lewis, the mother of Black Hollywood. I've been wanting to read this book for a minute, but I've been too frugal to purchase it off Amazon myself or just kept forgetting. And so, walking around the library, and I was kind of having a challenging morning, and my mood was kind of, and I seen this and I lit up. I was like, I've been looking for my girl book. So we are still reading The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Roberta Sloop. I forgot her last name. But we venturing into this now, so we're gonna juggle both of them. I'm excited to get into this, and I'm the type I like to read the rooter to the tutor. I like to read the prologue, the table of contents. So let me get into it. The insert of this book. So for those that don't know, look, you gotta know Jennifer Lewis. She's an amazing actress. I don't know if she considers herself a comedian now, but she's hilarious. She could be a little, in some people's terminology, vulgar or out there doing the most. Very dramatic, but charismatic. She talks about from radio interviews I've heard, she talks about mental health and her bipolar disorder and all that. So this book is going to really help us get to understand more of who this amazing woman is out off the screen. So Jennifer Lewis is a natural comedian in the spirit of Lucille Ball, inventive, smart, and all her bones are funny bones. You know the workday will be all fun and spirit when Jennifer is on set. The hardest part is to keep from laughing, and now she has written it all down for everyone to enjoy. Congratulations, Mother Jennifer. I love you. And that's from Taraji P. Henson. From her more than 300 appearances for film and television, stage, and cabaret, performing comedy or drama as an unforgettable lead or a scene stealing supporter character, Jennifer Lewis has established herself as one of the most respected, admired, talented, and versatile entertainers working today. This mega diva and co star of the hit sitcom Blackish bears her soul in this touching and poignant and at times side-splittingly hilarious memoir of a Midwestern girl with a dream whose journey took her from poverty to the big screen and along the way earned her many accolades. I do love Blackish. That's one of my favorite shows, and I'm not even a big TV watcher, but I like to binge watch on Blackish, and she does an amazing job in that role. With candor and warmth, Jennifer Lewis reveals the heart of a woman who lives life to the fullest. This multi talented force of nature landed her first Broadway role within 11 days of her graduation from college and later earned the title Reigning Queen of High Camp Cabaret. In the audaciously honest voice that her fans adore, Jennifer describes her transition to Hollywood with guest roles on hits like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Friends. Her movie Jackie's Back became a cult favorite, and as the mama to characters portrayed by Whitney Houston, Tupac Shakur, Taraji P. Henson, and many more, Jennifer cemented her status as the mother of Black Hollywood. When an undiagnosed mental illness stymies Jennifer's career, culminating in a breakdown while filming The Temptations, her quest for wholeness becomes a harrowing and inspiring tale, including revelations of bipolar disorder. Written with no holds barred honesty and illustrated with more than 40 color photographs, this gripping memoir is filled with insights gained through a unique life that offers a universal message. Love yourself so that love will not be a stranger when it comes. Okay, so let's get into this read. I'm excited to see what we learn. Look at Jennifer. Oh, I love her. She is so hilarious. The mother of Black Hollywood. This is to Julia Walker, who saved my life and then saved her own. It opens with a quote by Nelson Mandela that says, "Your playing small does not serve the world. Who are you not to be great?" Okay. All right, so let's read the table of contents. So we got the prologue. Hold on, let me charge my phone. One moment. Okay, got that set up. Okay. So we got the prologue. Chapter 1 is blackish to greenish. Chapter 2, shoulders back, titties first. Chapter 3, don't tell mama. Chapter 4, dick diva. Chapter 5, love versus dream girls. Chapter 6, ma'am, are you a delegate? Chapter 7, a doll named Killer. Chapter 8, Hollywood not swinging. Chapter 9, Kinlock. Chapter 10, it ain't that kind of call, motherfucker. Chapter 11, dismissing the diva. Uh-oh. All right now, phone, get it together. Chapter 11 was dismissing the diva. Chapter 12 is kicking down doors. Chapter 13, Jackie's back. Chapter 14, Mother Courage. Chapter 15, on the back of a two-hump Campbell. And then she got letter readers, acknowledgments, and career overview. Let's get into it. The Mother Black Hollywood, a memoir by Jenifer Lewis. Prologue. Dorothy Mae Lewis was not a woman to mess with. One day when I was about 6, I held Mama's hand as we walked home from Miss Wood's store, where Mama had bought a bottle of Coca-Cola. Well, out of nowhere, her boyfriend at the time, Jellybean, pulled up in his station wagon and called out for my mother. Hey, Dorothy, come here. Now, my mother was pretty much the queen of Kinlock, Missouri, and the one thing you did not do is summon her to do anything, anywhere, at any time. My mother ignored Jellybean. He said, Dorothy, you hear me talking to you? She said, go on somewhere else, Jelly. Can't you see I'm with my baby? Jellybean then made the biggest mistake of his life. He pulled the car over to where Mama and I stood, reached out of the window, grabbed my mama's right arm, and said, "You're going to talk to me right now, Dorothy." I was still holding her left hand tightly, aware of the time bomb that was about to explode. What I can tell you now is that it was all over in 5 seconds. It ended with Jellybean speeding away in a trail of blood that led to the corner where the station wagon had taken a sharp right and disappeared. And as small as Kinlock was, we never saw Jellybean again. And y'all want to wonder where I get it from. Okay, Jennifer. So you and your mama little cuckoo. All right. we know exactly where you get it from. And as small as Kinlock was, we never saw Jellybean again. Y'all want to wonder where I get it from. All right, chapter 1, blackish to greenish. After 2 weeks of intensely working out, I had lost not one fucking pound. Yet, ready or not, there on the set of Blackish. The show is what every actor dreams of, a primetime hit on a national network. My first scene was with Morpheus from The Matrix. Of course, I mean Lawrence Fishburne, the brilliant actor who plays my ex-husband, Pops. I was about to deliver my initial line. One would think that this moment would be fun, easy, even fabulous. I mean, after all, I have been doing television for what seemed like 100 years, from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to Murphy Brown, from In Living Color to Friends, and on and on. But 10 years had passed since I had worked consistently on the small screen. Once again, the gods of television had summoned me back to bring the Jenifer Lewis magic, back to deliver the take no prisoners attitude and deep, rich tone that made mine one of the most recognizable voices in Hollywood. But I'll be damned if now, at the moment of truth, I could remember one line of the script I had studied. After 259 episodic television shows, 63 movies, and 4 Broadway shows, the great Jenifer Lewis cannot remember one fucking line. I was a nervous wreck. No one on the Blackish set besides me knew it, though. I asked for a moment and grabbed my script. As I sat down and put on my glasses, I knew I would be forgiven for the pause. After all, I was new to the set, and the rest of the cast had already shot several episodes together. Come on, Jenny, you can do this. I was not about to disappoint all these people. The cast and crew, the writers, the producers, the ABC and Disney who had hired me without a single audition. To better focus, I took 3 deep breaths. Finally got all the lines in my head, then whispered, "Come on, Jenny, get up, get your ass up and deliver." In the days before, like a fool, I had read the Facebook comments about the announcement that I would be on Blackish. Oh shit, here comes Jenifer Lewis. She might play auntie, y'all. That's right. They got the mother of Black Hollywood. OMG, she's fabulous. She's this, she's that. Now I felt like I had to live up to all that love. I couldn't let it shake me. I had to shut down all the internal noise and get in the moment of my character, Ruby Johnson. Come on, pull yourself together, Miss Bachelor's degree in theater's art. I studied Stanislavi Feldenkrais and with the great Uta Hagen, no less. Where did Ruby come from, and what is her objective in this scene? I have been working on Ruby. I wanted her to be a whole person, warm, grounded, smart, quirky, and very, very funny. A woman who loves her son, perhaps a bit too much, never cuts her daughter-in-law any slack, and who loves her grandbabies above all else. And of course, Ruby had to be fabulous. So again, like another fool, I said yes to the 4-inch pumps, completely forgetting what they would do to my ever-present aching plantar fasciitis. I stood there feeling fat. My right knee was throbbing. I felt old. What was I doing here anyway? My thoughts flashed back to a few months earlier when I had seriously considered retiring. I decided to treat myself to a much needed vacation and jetted off to Europe to have some fun and ponder my life, not only my career, but also the fact that at age 57, I was still single. Despite being engaged 4 times, I had never made it to the altar. Of course, I kept the rings. I was off to Athens, where I boarded the Seven Seas, an exclusive luxury cruise ship. For 3 weeks, it was just me, myself, and I, a little barefoot colored girl from poverty stricken Kinloch, Missouri. I had worn one of my huge straw hats, expensive dark shades, trying to be incognito, and a muumuu. I extended my passport and ticket to the young steward. He then stretched his neck and peered under my hat. Even though he was Italian, he proceeded to do an Irish jig and, with no care for his job security, screeched in front of all the first class passengers, "Jackie's back!" He was referring to the title of the 1999 Lifetime movie in which I had starred. News spread through the ship that a celebrity was on board. There was a knock at my door. It was my butler. Yes, the barefoot little colored girl had a butler, informing me I was invited to dine at the captain's table. Though I hadn't planned on it, I admit I enjoyed the celebrity treatment. I basked in my luxury suite and lounged on my private balcony as we made our way around the Aegean, the Mediterranean, and the Adriatic, but my joy was tempered by the decision before me to retire or not to retire. I still bristled with the recent disappointment of not being chosen for several roles I had wanted. I didn't get Orange is the New Black, but my dear friend Lorraine Toussaint did. I didn't get Getting On, but my dear friend Niecy Nash did. I hated the fact that after 40 years in the business, I still even had to audition. And damn, could it possibly be true that as a singer, I had never even recorded an album? On top of all that, I had just broken off another engagement. Okay. Now I'm doing what my therapist Rachel would call garbage collecting. Stop bitching, Jenny. We soon arrived in Cataclone, Greece, the site of the original Olympics nearly 3,000 years ago. I went to the fields where the games had been played. What impressed me most was the excavation of still intact hovels and looming columns. There was a walk of shame where they carved the names of the athletes who had cheated. I was grateful that my name wasn't there because though I'd always been athletic, I was one cheating ass when I was a kid. A few days later in Montenegro, we visited several magnificent wineries. Winding through the twisting roads, we had to take a sudden detour. There had been an accident up ahead and someone had been killed. A grim reminder of how so very fragile we are and how precious life is. As the Seven Seas approached the Croatian city of Dubrovnik, the view of the orange roofed old town took my breath away. I visited the Church of St. Francis, where some local women were singing folk songs in the courtyard. I admired their beautiful harmonies, and when they beckoned me forward, I joined them. Actually, I just barged in and sang baritone. They good naturally allowed me to arrange them like the Supremes, drawing on poses I had been taught by Michael Bennett himself during rehearsals for the workshop production of Dreamgirls. On a small boat from Dubrovnik back to the Seven Seas, there was an older Caucasian American man who took it upon himself to extra notice me, a middle aged black woman traveling alone on a VIP ship. He knew that if I was in fact alone, I had paid $9,000 more than he had, the nasty little single occupancy fee. For some ungodly reason, this man yelled over the boat's motor, "So where'd you get your money?" I turned slowly. Would he ask a white woman this question? Was this mofo implying a black woman shouldn't have money? I was this close to pushing him overboard. No doubt, the old Jennifer Lewis would have cussed him out in a rage-fueled tirade. But as a person with bipolar disorder who spent 17 years in therapy, I had finally learned to control my rage and was grateful for the behavioral skills and medication that give me that control. I took 3 deep breaths and decided not to slap the shit out of him. Instead, I said, "Oh, you didn't know? I own the Seven Seas." His much too young wife, naively believing my statement, chimed in with a high pitched, "Oh, really?" I returned the "Oh, really?" in the deep, low pitch Bette Davis used, responding to Joan Crawford in the movie Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. I don't know what that tone sounded like because I never watched that movie. Um, oh, really? The mic had been dropped on the shores of Dubrovnik. Another war had been won, and not a single life had been taken. The next stop in Croatia was the island of Hvar, where I swam at a rocky beach. I was very thankful that my friend Deborah Dean Davis had told me to bring special shoes for the stony beaches. A nice couple from Germany watched my belongings as I swam. Afterward, they invited me to have a drink. The friendliness of the people of Havar put me in a peaceful mindset. I felt ready to spend my final night at sea contemplating whether or not to retire. Later, on my balcony under a big fat moon, I had a frank conversation with myself. What are you gonna do, kid? Could I really face another thank you, Miss Lewis, next? Or we're looking for a Jennifer Lewis type, not the real thing. Fuck show business. Did I really want to continue watching myself age on a 5 story tall movie screen? I was blessed to have already realized so many wonderful dreams. An electrifying standing ovation at Carnegie Hall when I sang with the New York Pops Orchestra, performing for royalty in Monaco, headlining in Hello Dolly as the esteemed Fifth Avenue Theater in Seattle, and of course, working with great actors, everyone from Denzel Washington and Meryl Streep to Tom Hanks to Raji P. Henson and Matt Damon. I had so many amazing memories to retire with. But wait, be honest, Jenny. Is there anything else? Anything? Shit. There is one more dream. I've wanted it all my life. A one-woman show on Broadway, like the great ones who had paved the way. The likes of Lily Tomlin, Revere Smith, to name a few. And maybe one or two other as yet unrealized dreams. Like I still hadn't played Mama Rose and Gypsy. My friend Mark Shyman joked that the black version of Gypsy would be titled Nipsey, asshole. I guess I could live without playing Mama Rose, but without that one woman show, I know in fact when I reach those pearly gates, St. Peter's first words to me would be, "What happened with the one woman show? Get your unheavenly ass on back down there and get that Tony." How do I make it happen? A one woman show on Broadway starring Jennifer Lewis? Jennifer who? Dear God, what an undertaking. People recognize me, but frankly, plenty of them don't even know my name. Why would Broadway backers be willing to invest millions of dollars in me? Well, I'll just have to become more famous. And there's one sure way of doing that besides a sex tape: primetime network TV. I leaned on the rail and gazed at the perfection of the moons, the stars, and the Adriatic Sea. I howled up at that big fat moon, true to the alpha wolf who turns through my veins. I'm Jennifer motherfucking Lewis. I am the show in show business. Who was I trying to kid? To retire from show business would be to retire from the act of breathing. I closed my eyes and said a silent prayer. Yes, a primetime show, a show that's top quality in a role that recognizes my talent and experience, where I can show my chops and make people laugh, think, and cry. I wanted to work with great actors and writers I admire and could grow with. Now, listen, God, I don't want to be the lead in the show. I don't want to work that hard anymore. Oh, and this is the most important thing. Please let the show shoot close to home. Don't even let me get started about the LA traffic. I blew a soft kiss to the moon, smiled, and took my ass to bed. 2 days later, I touched down at LAX and was picked up by my dear friend and manager, Julia Walker. She allowed me to go on and on about my vacation. Girl, I had a fabulous time. I hiked up to the ancient city walls of Dubrovnik. In Montenegro, there was an unimaginable rainbow over the limestone cliffs in the Bay of Kotor. I'll show you a picture later. And listen, Drew, there are these two islands just off Venice, right? The first one in Murano is where they do a fabulous glass blowing demonstration. And the second one, Burano, they make wonderful lace. Oh, and honey, I met this French boy in Athens up at the Acropolis. He was staring at my cleavage, but he was all hot and sweaty. And you know, I didn't have time for a Parisian. I don't know what that is. Parisian. And you know, I didn't have time for a Parisian. It would have made for a good story, but it just was not going to happen. He was real cute though. In Corfu, your girl almost went hungry because my credit card wouldn't swipe through the food stand. So I deliberately showed the guy my cleavage and he let me have a turkey and goat cheese sandwich for free. And girl, the food on the ship was incredible. I was so undisciplined. I ate like everybody's and anybody's and everybody's pig. The chef was a Fresh Prince fan and would make me anything I wanted. And the desserts were stupid. I must have put on at least 10 pounds. Thank God I've got 2 months to get in shape before the Human Rights Campaign honors me in St. Louis. As we rode down Sepulveda to get on the heinous 405 freeway, I saw a huge billboard for the new ABC show Blackish and asked, "Oh, how's that show doing?" Julia didn't respond. When I turned to look at her, she had a silly, sweet smile on her face. "I was giving you a moment before I told you. They called. They want you to play Anthony Anderson's mother. They want you for Blackish." I said, "Well, Blackish better have some greenish." Yep, that quip was a good one, but underneath I was thinking, damn, I didn't expect my Adriatic prayer to happen this fast. It had only been 2 nights ago when I was speaking to God. I guess I'll be kissing the moon more often. Julia continued, and your book to start in 2 weeks. I fell into a dead panic. Bitch, are you insane? Did I mention I ate fried cheese every fucking day and chocolate and butter drenched escargots and cream brulee for breakfast? That camera's gonna put another 10 pounds on my ass. And oh my God, it's all high definition these days, so everyone watching can see every pore and wrinkle. It had been 8 years since I had played Lena Hawkins on Strong Medicine, the hit Lifetime television drama. My memory had gotten worse, and I was going to have to learn lines, lines, lines. Not to mention my knees now had names, Arthur and Ryder Jackson. Shit, I needed at least 6 months to get ready. Look, was I excited to get back to steady work? Yes. Was I appreciative? Yes. But I was really scared at the same time. Come on, Jenny, time to slay. When I arrived home, I kissed and played with my bacon fries, Butters, named for the character on South Park, and collapsed from jet lag. Lying on my bed, my mind was racing. You got 2 weeks, Missy. I got out of bed, flew downstairs to my gym, and mounted the elliptical. I did 45 minutes of cardio. Then it was on to the weights and 60 squats. Come on, Jenny. The next morning, I rode my bike 7 miles, thinking about the time I had joined Weight Watchers. I went once, sang all them Big Mama Blues songs. After all, they were a captive audience, and never went back. I had to get serious. I needed a regimen. I made an arrangement for my niece, Mich, I don't know how to say this. I made an arrangement for my niece Mashiko to start training me every day. I wanted to look like I had 20 years earlier on the Fresh Prince when I was beautiful from every camera angle. But like I said, I had not lost one fucking pound by the time. 2 weeks later, when I drove my big black S5 Mercedes through the gates of the most beautiful and historic movie lots in the world, the Walt Disney Studios. The security guard at the gate shouted, "Hey Flo, hey Mama Odie." Disney is a home away from home for me. I am more famous here than any other studio, and most Disney employees, from security guards to the chefs in the commissary, are huge fans of Disney animations. They know every movie, actor, and voice. I smiled at the security guard as I fantasized that I was the great Gloria Swanson playing Norma Desmond in the movie Sunset Boulevard when she returns to Paramount, the studio she had made famous. In my fantasy, I wanted the guard not to recognize me so that, like Norman Desmond, I could say to him, "Open the gate and watch your manners, because without me, there will be no Disney studio." I pulled into the parking space marked Jenifer Lewis in front of stage 4, thinking, "Wow, you've come a long way, baby." Still in my Norma Desmond fantasy, I thought, "Oh my God, will anyone remember me?" The answer, thank goodness, was yes, yes, and yes. They came and they came and they came. I was encircled by the cast and crew welcoming me, smiling and gushing. After all my years of show business, I had worked with damn near every one of them in some capacity or another: wardrobe, makeup, set designers, the drivers, the assistant directors, even the dialogue coach was my dear friend Iona Morris, a talented actress and director. I knew and loved them all. And on they came, embracing, reminiscing. "Hey Jennifer, remember when Tupac had all the girls in his trailer on the set of Poetic Justice? Remember me? I was the stunt coordinator when you clocked Jim Carrey with that rubber skillet on In Living Color. We're so excited you're here. We've been waiting." It wasn't only about show business. One crew member said, "Hey Jennifer, my brother loves you. When he saw you on Oprah talking about having bipolar, he wouldn't take care of himself." Even the executives from the front offices came down to the Blackish set to welcome me. I was lit up. I had, of course, worked with the oh so very talented Tracy Ellis Ross on Girlfriends and Five, a wonderful Lifetime movie that Alicia Keys had directed. I knew Anthony Anderson's brilliant and funny work in everything from Law and Order to Hustle and Flow to Barbershop. Of course, there was Lawrence Fishburne, who had not only played Ike Turner, the son-in-law to my Tina Turner's mama, and what's love got to do with it, but whose body of work was beyond impressive, including some of the most important fields of our time, from Apocalypse Now to Boys in the Hood and all of the Matrix films. I was thrilled to reconnect with Kenya Barris, the creator of Blackish, who was just a young writer when we first met on Girlfriends. I dubbed him Genius. Following the warm welcome, it was time for the usual television routine: 2 hours in the makeup and hair trailer, and of course, the last minute rushing. There's always so much hurry up and wait. I sat in my dressing room, mic'd for sound, zipped in Ruby's clothes, only to wait. All the waiting gave me too much time to fret. Would I fit in? The rest of the cast was already a family. I was only a guest star at that point. I would have to gauge and get in sync with their rhythm. Could I do it? Finally, a knock at the door. "They're ready for you now, Miss Lewis." I entered the soundstage trying to look cool. After a few preliminaries, including my last minute pause to look at my script, shooting began. Now fully confident in my lines, I stepped onto the blue tape mark opposite Lawrence. The set was put on a bell, signaling all cast and crew fall silent. The first AD shouted, "Rolling." I inhaled, shoulders back and spine straight. I felt the entire company lean in, smiling expectantly as all eyes fell on me. The mother of Black Hollywood, the veteran of nearly 300 productions, the woman they hired without auditioning. The director shouted, "Action." I exhaled, thinking of that kiss I blown to the full moon over the Adriatic. I go inside. I become Ruby Johnson. I deliver my first line. Within seconds, I hear the sound I've been listening for all my life, the rising, swelling lion's roar of dozens of people collapse in laughter and applause. And the bitch is back. Okay, Jennifer. All right, so we're going to end there. The next chapter is chapter 2, shoulders back, titties first. Jenifer is something else. I can't wait to get into the rest of this read. And if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, please do. It is Morgan Myers with the red logo and a yellow M inside for my brand Moremai, or you can type in story time with Moremai, spelled Moremy. All right. You can catch up on this reading and past readings that I've done and future ones that are to come. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see y'all another time. Peace.